dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original? Ooh. Can always count on me. It's your boy DJ Nuki, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
We're back on the channel with another
Kid and C original.
Hey, welcome back, bro. We got another TikTok story time for y'all today, man. We got I Traumatized My Parents back. TikTok story times. You ready for it? How would you traumatize your parents? If you're...
I ain't never thought about nothing like that.
You probably ain't hear no... You traumatize one parent.
Huh?
I said you probably could traumatize one parent. You ain't traumatize the other one. But like, I love her too much. But the daddy, I'm gonna traumatize.
I love my daddy too.
But I'll traumatize that.
My daddy a little soft sometimes. He a little soft.
Weak.
When it comes to me, you're a little soft.
Oh man, them grandkids too.
Yeah, them too.
Hey man, so with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box down below. You already know where to go. If you want to further support, all you gotta do is check out down below. Also, we always salute to the comment of the day.
Salute to you.
We highly appreciate y'all, man. Y'all, every time y'all get in the comments, we check them out, man. Sometimes we get back with y'all, sometimes we don't. Apologize, but we see them. But with that being said, again, man, we got I Traumatized My Parents back. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I find out that everybody talks.
My mom started kicking me out at the age of like 16, and then I would have to figure out a place to stay for the weekend and stuff, all the way up until I was 22 after I had my daughter, who was a year old at the time, and then I've never moved back in. So we started talking again right before COVID hit, and then she decided that she was going to sell her house but not have any other backup plan. So when she sold her house, she was homeless. She was blowing on my phone, texting, calling, Facebook, not Instagram, but you know, like going to work. And then I just kept saying, damn, I don't know what you're gonna do. You gotta figure it out. I don't know. And she deadass turned around and said, wow, I hope and pray that I was never this mean to you. And I threw it right back in her fucking face. And I said, actually, you were a lot worse. You would physically fight me in front of my daughter and then kick me out.
She said the way she said, hey, I feel her though, bro, because a lot of parents do be doing that.
Yeah.
Be kicking kids out in high school.
Fighting them. Like
when they be young. And then y'all be wondering, when they in their 20s and 30s, why they ain't got no respect for you. Yeah. You don't remember all them years you put them through to make them get into life positions they had to get into? They were forced into certain things. It wasn't, I moved out, my parents supported me. A lot of times parents kicked you out. You had to go figure out what you want to do. Then they get sick and ill and they want you to come take care of them. You be like, man, right, go have a good, have a blessed day.
I cannot get over how much this was made for me right now. So to give you a brief overview of my life, right? I have a narcissistic mom and an enabler dad. And my mom abused all of us pretty much our entire lives. And when I turned about 16 or so, she started disappearing for like 4.5 days out of the week. Like essentially abandoned us, left us, everything. Which I wish I could say I was more upset about it than I was, because this is bad. If anything, it was more of a relief because she was such a nightmare to be around. Anyways, I very recently decided to go no contact with her officially, which is something I had been wanting to do for a really long time, but recent events that you can find on my TikTok where she was going on a homophobic rant about me was really the catalyst for it. And I wish that were the end of this story. So brief little overview, right, is that she went on this big long homophobic rant about me. I found out was going to confront her about it. Immediately before I was going to have dinner with her at the confrontation, I found out from a family friend that she has been living a double life for the past almost 10 years, right? So this is where the revenge kind of kicks in. So I break the news that I heard to my dad, right? And she loses her fucking mind over it. Like, starts accusing everyone under the sun except for her, right? Like, she's an angel. She's this empath who always puts others before herself. Like, oh my God, she would never do anything like that except abandon her children because it was too hard on her to be a mother. Not her. So I tell her pretty much straight up, I'm going no contact with her unless she goes to therapy and actually works on herself. She super didn't like this either and ended up sending me and my siblings a 7-page letter justifying why she left us, abandoned us, and abused us our entire lives. I wish I could dissect all 7 pages for you, but it is so much tomfoolery, so much manipulation and gaslighting, right? But the thing is you shouldn't have to guilt people into forgiving you. You know, like, you shouldn't have to guilt people into feeling compassion for you. You shouldn't have to justify your reasons for hurting other people, right? You say sorry. You don't come up with excuses. So obviously I hit her with a, nah, fuck you, I'm still going no contact with you. And my siblings, who were kind of on the fence before, decided to take the plunge with me. So we're all no contact with her now. The family has essentially disowned her. My dad has cut her off, which will really hurt her. And we finally got the divorce we needed. Woohoo!
Bruh.
I really don't fuck with your mom.
Not at all.
God damn.
Not at all.
I started helping take care of my siblings when I was really young, but I started raising my youngest brother when I was like 12. Like, he would call me mom. I was in charge of cooking, cleaning. Like, I was staying up 11 every night fulfilling my duties. And if I went out, it was usually because I snuck out. And my dad told me, well, if you don't like it, there's the fucking door. And I sure did walk out of that bitch. Didn't talk for a while, but when we did, they started telling me about all these responsibilities they had to take over. And I would just be like, damn, that sucks. They told me how much they appreciated me and, you know, that I should come back. So I went back for one night the day before my high school graduation. And I left my graduation day. We didn't talk again for a while. And then once we did, they were just telling me like all of these things that they had to do. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy. They became really traumatized because they had to make all of these time for things that they had never made before, and then they also didn't have anybody to take their anger out on. So now we're in a good place, but
I find out that everybody talks.
No, it's not for me. I got out of bed. I got out of bed for this video. So if you know me, you know I talk shit about my dad all the time. I don't care. I come on this app, talk about my father. Tell me how my dad has been treating me with the utmost respect. I've never had my father treat me this well. Like, he's been so nice to me lately. Come to find out, he found my TikTok. One of my videos talking about him landed on his For You page. He watched all my videos, had a whole breakdown, reassessed his entire life. The nicest man now. Traumatize your parents, guys. Talk about them, traumatize. Just, it works.
I find out that everybody talks.
You've got to do it. It's literally the best feeling. So, I was the oldest child. I was the therapy child. And I was the center point of every frustration that my manic mother had. She told me in a stupid argument one day, I can't even remember what it was about, to go myself. And I was like, oh, bitch, you have no respect for me. So reverse Uno, right? She wasn't ready for the reverse Uno. I looked at her and I said to her, I wouldn't have to fucking try so much if you would have just aborted me like your other kids. They were the lucky ones. When I tell you, she turned around, went to her room, and I heard her sobbing all night. And I just did not give a fuck. I was laughing so hard because I was like, same person that let your boyfriend threaten to kill me and didn't do anything about it.
I find out that
I ain't gonna count. I don't think I can be that disrespectful, though. I understand it's traumatizing, but it's also respect, and you know what I'm saying.
But that's the thing you have to realize. Just because they your parent,
you still got
don't mean that they can disrespect you.
Yeah, I understand that, but that doesn't just because they somebody traumatized like did shit to you don't also mean you don't have to. You know what I'm saying?
She just
at that degree,
was that disrespectful though? She didn't say nothing disrespectful in a sense.
She did. That was disrespectful.
I mean, it was disrespectful, but it was just kind of.
Could you ever fix yourself to say anything other such?
I wouldn't have to.
I'm just saying.
I can't think like that because my mom has never.
I'm gonna say this. You think your brother would ever wear his kids' drawers on his head and pop up on your mama's jaw?
That's different.
No, I'm just saying do it to. But no, it's a joke. I'm saying it's a joke because that story funny as hell.
That's just fun, and she used to do that all the time. Though it wasn't just like a one-time thing. That's just how she used to sleep. But she could have took them off. But that's different. That ain't nothing.
I'm just saying because it's funny. But I'm just saying your brother won't do no.
But that's different. That didn't hurt us or like traumatize us or something like that.
Your mom popping up at school.
Like, yeah, should have acted right.
Little panties on her head.
But no, that's different.
No, I'm just playing. It's just playing. But I don't know. It's still a respect level though.
Both ways. You respect me, you get respected back.
So if you're new here, I used to make TikToks of things my parents said and did to my sister and I as we were growing up. I only stopped because they found them, and as you can imagine, World War III ensued. We had a really long conversation. As my dad calls, we were resetting our family. What I loved most is during that conversation, I asked if they had watched all the videos, and my dad, quote, says, "No, I could only stomach to watch about 6 of them." Oh, okay. So you're wondering why I'm so traumatized and have had to go to years of therapy. And it's you just question it. It's absurd. But you yourself could only watch 6 videos of me explaining what you guys did before you got sick?
I find out that everybody talks.
My dad left us in 2017 to marry a woman who was closer to my age than my mom's. And for years after that, we never met her until my dad came up for my sister's high school graduation, even though she didn't invite him. And he took my brother and I to lunch, and we showed up to lunch, and he had brought his new wife with him, and he hadn't told us that he was going to do that. So that was awkward in and of itself. But anyway, the conversation eventually turned to how my dad would cheat at video games when he was younger, and he sort of started to press me about it, being like, "Well, you used to cheat when you were younger. You're not any better than I am." So I looked my stepmom in the eyes, and I looked him in the eyes, and I said, some of us grew up and stopped cheating. And then lunch ended about a minute after that.
On Father's Day a few years ago, I met my dad for lunch, and when I showed up, he said, "Oh, son, I really appreciated your text this morning." And confused, I said, "What text? I didn't send you a text." And he's like, "Exactly, it's Father's Day. The least you could do is send me a text." And then my sister walks in and he said, "Oh, Jen, thank you so much for sending me a text. It meant the world to me." And I said, "I'm not doing this." And I got up and I left. And let me tell you how many voicemails and messages I got after that. I would say he was a little traumatized.
I find out that everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks.
No one likes being called a bad parent, especially bad parents. So much so that when they're over punishing their kid, they'll even look at them and be like, "Am I a bad dad? Am I a bad mom?" And in that moment, children develop the survival skill of lying. Because if you don't, you're going to lose all of your privileges. You're not going to be able to go to extracurriculars. You're not going to have a contact to the outside world, and it's going to make you go crazy because you're stuck with your abusers. So you end up having to look at your dad and say, "No, I get why you hit me. I needed that. Thank you so much. You're a good dad. Even though I'm 18, you hit me with a belt. I get it. Thank you." That is fucking traumatizing, but that is your sandcastle of lies you built, and you can pull the fucking rug out from it anytime you want. Once you're out of arm's length, you can say, "You're not invited to my wedding because you're a violent old mean man." What's a celebrity impression?
I don't want to elaborate too on something. All right, what you thinking about, babe? I wanted to elaborate. Don't go around being disrespectful to your parents. Even if they like, you know, it's a difference in discipline and like being straight up like, what's the word?
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful to your even to your child or to your parents or whatever. There's ways to go around things. Like I ain't sitting here like being like, yeah, if your mom or dad say this or do this or whatever, you be like, bitch, no. Like, no, like don't do that. Like I'm not saying do that, but I'm just saying like, because honestly, for me, I can't wrap my head around it because my like, you know, I mainly just grew up with my mom, but my mom was never.
I've tried I tried to have the. And to be honest, people say have those conversations with your parents, which is way easier said than done. Yeah, because a lot of parents ain't trying to hear
what they have done
or anything. When you try to let your parents understand that, hey, I'm grown. I'm a grown adult. I am not even though I'm your offspring. I'm not your child anymore. I am now just your offspring. Yeah. I'm no longer like your responsibility.
For me, I would say it is easy to have those conversations depending on how old you are.
No, it's still not.
I'm like, sit your ass. Listen, I got something to tell you.
I'm saying it's still even in a respectful way. It's like not all parents are trying to hear, especially when they realize that you my child.
But that, I
brought you in this world.
There's ways
and that I brought you in this world. I take you out. That's the lamest shit you can ever tell your child.
Yeah, stop saying that, please.
But with that being said, y'all spam us up in the comment section down below. Let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about that one in the comments. I'm sure a lot of people got some story with that, man. Yeah, so we here for it. Vent out. We here to let you vent, man. Please. Go ahead and do it. But as always, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ Nikki. This is We are.
Go and get it. Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partner.